One.
Hello everybody, Great Creator here, and welcome back to another Top 5 video with everyone's favorite, Tronicle545.
Yes, I didn't know. I didn't know who was gonna do the intro there. I thought I was about to do it there.
It's always me. It's always
Yeah,
me, unless
yeah,
somebody
always.
else.
By the way, if my audio sounds a bit different in this, it's because my Discord didn't want to take my mic, and we were just too lazy to reschedule. So we're fine. My audio is gonna sound a bit off here. It's fine though, right? Right? Yeah, yeah.
Today on
You
Minimal
don't care,
Effort.
right? Yeah, totally.
Okay, so,
Yes, today minimal
today our
effort.
list is going to be, this is going to be needed to be edited so much. Okay, this list today is going to be top 5 LEGO villains of all time. This is from
That are
any,
original Lego villains, not like licensed villains that happen to be in Lego form.
yeah, that's correct, yeah.
I
So,
would explain what like license means, but I really hope I don't have to. I'm just gonna assume we all know. I'm gonna assume you all know what like a licensed, non-licensed villain is. So yeah,
don't assume Nolan. Okay. Okay,
I don't know
so
who Nolan is, but okay, whatever.
Tronicle, would you like to start off with your top 5?
Yes, okay, yes. Top 5 original Lego villains, and we're limiting 2 villains from one theme. So yeah, we're not gonna that way. It's not gonna be all Ninjago and Bionicle villains. So yes, So yes, I will start. I'm sorry, I kept interrupting you. All right, so my number 5 is Ogle from Alpha Team. And this guy, I 100% just put his number 5 because of his name. All right, moving on, I'm joking. Anyway, yeah, so Ogle, yeah, his name's Lego backwards. And yeah, I like him because he's kind of like, I like how his whole deal is he's kind of like a classic, like, not really, he's basically just kind of like your classic, kind of typical, not really mustache twirling, but he's kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of like a James Bond villain, sort of, where he has just this huge army of people, and he's just kind of like, he's always doing these plans and stuff like that. And his army is really cool, how he like zombifies creatures and people. That I found really cool. His design is really cool. I love his shoulder piece. I have to get some of those on Bricklink. They are really cool. And yeah, Ogle, he's kind of corny, he's kind of cheesy, and that's just what I like about him. He's an older villain, Alpha Team, 2003, 2005, I think. But yeah, his name is also what puts him at number 5. His name is Lego backward. Yeah, that shows just how evil he really is. And also, I like his tie into Bladvik. Am I pronouncing that right?
I think it's
Bladvik.
Vladik.
Vladik. All right, the Knights Kingdom villain. Yeah, I like his tie into that, where he's like a descendant, and yeah, because like Lego does that occasionally with their villains to make them like tie-in. So yeah, Ogle, number 5. Number 4, we have Lord Business from Lego
Hold on.
Movie.
I need to do my thoughts on your character, remember?
What? Oh yes, that's a thing we do. I forgot. I totally remember that. Right. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll just edit this out. This video is going
Edit
to
that
need
out.
hecka editing. Okay.
Yeah, all right, Alex, you edit that out.
Okay, Nolan, I will. Okay,
Okay, you do that.
my thoughts on Ogle is, I honestly don't know much about him. I know that he was an Agent's villain, and he's pretty cool looking. Also, I like how he's a descendant from Vladik, who is a villain that I rather like. And
Yeah.
I think
I was team Ogle. You were team Vladik.
Ogle is definitely worthy of this list, so move on to number 4, I suppose.
Yes, number 4, we have Lord Business, or how I have him written in my notes, Lord Business, because I didn't know how to spell business. So, Lord Business, yes, we're going with Lego Movie villains, I guess. So, I guess we are doing that. Now, either of us have seen the Lego Movie 2 yet, so who knows, maybe Queen, whatever I want to be, or Sweet Mayhem would have made the list if we saw that movie, but maybe we should have seen it before we made this list, but whatever. Yeah, so we haven't seen the movie yet, and maybe if we did those villains would make the list, but right now, Lord Business. Spoilers, I guess, for the Lego Movie. At this point, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you don't really care seeing it. But yeah, Lord Business. Just the whole thing. The reason he's such a great villain is just really the reason the Lego Movie is so awesome. Just how it, awesome, no pun intended. Anyway, how it ties into the whole thing with like, how the whole movie is just from this kid. It's a kid playing with his toys. And then the main villain, Lord Business, is what he like kind of personifies his dad as, like, just this evil business guy. He wants to glue everyone together. And yeah, it's just funny how that all works out. And yeah, that's what makes the Lego Movie whole great. Just the whole kind of underlying themes and just how it all connects, and just, yeah, Lord Business, how he's just a metaphor for the kid's dad, and just the parent who just wants to glue all the Legos together and everything like that. And yeah, just number 4, and also great performance by Will Ferrell. I will say that he had a pretty good performance in the movie, and the end scene with him also was with him and Emmett and him and his son, and I don't know who played his son, but anyway, yeah, the end scene was also great with him. So yeah, overall, just great villain from the Lego Movie. So yeah, great creator. Your thoughts, because we're doing this.
Okay, so my thoughts is Lord Business was an amazing character in the Lego Movie. His parallels with the dad were really good, and him as a character was really entertaining, and the scene where he froze Bad Cop's parents was, I don't know, this may sound sort of morbid, but rather funny.
Yes, I forgot about that scene. Actually, I watched the movie like a couple months ago. Yes, it was. Yeah.
And his final confrontation with Emmett was very well done, I believe. So I think he's definitely worthy of that list.
Yes, and by that I mean I rewatched it after the 10th time 3 months ago. Don't worry, I saw it opening day when it came out before. Don't worry, guys. I'm a true Lego fan, right? Yeah. I'm a fan of Legos. You get it? You get it because it's you get it? You get it because it's not grammatically correct. Get it?
Hey everyone, I hate to cut this video short, but Tronicle's being forcefully removed from the call.
All right, keep this in. Don't edit that out. Or put it at the end. I hate to give you more editing, but put this part at the end. Anyway, all right. So number 3 for me, I can't pronounce free, but I'm redoing that. All right, number 3, the Paraka from Bionicle. Now, as I said, we're limiting ourselves to 2 villains from each team. So then I think you can all guess what the next Bionicle villain is going to be, but. I love the Paraka so much because if you saw now this is a throwback. If you saw my top 10 favorite or ranking the Bionicle years, that's going to be linked in the script, right, creator? Right?
Yes, it is, and it's also going to be popping up on the screen of this video right now.
Oh, yes, it is. All right, now if you saw my ranking the Bionicle years, which I did, it was the 10th video I ever made. It was one of the first videos I made, but you may know that 2006 is my favorite year for Bionicle, and the main reason was how that was the first year that the villains were given their own personalities, the Paraka, and yeah, I just love their whole I just love all their personalities, and just how any second they were just so willing to backstab each other, and they were just so willing to betray each other, and how they all just had extreme personalities, and just how they worked off of each other, it gave me the whole idea of a group of people who really hated each other, and they were just forced to work together, and they were just kind of trying to impress a bigger group, even though I don't think that's how it really went in the storyline. But yeah, actually, I don't know if they were already friends or if they were assigned by the Dark Hunters to work together. But anyway, I should really research that. Anyway, yeah. So the Paraka, yes, great villains. Yeah, they're all given their own personalities. That's just why they're one of my favorite original Lego villains, or them as a group. We're counting them as a group. If I had to go with one Paraka, I'd probably go with the green Paraka, who I totally know the name to, the leader.
His name's the leader. Naktan, mate.
Naktan, yes, I knew that. No, isn't that no
Naktan?
Well, no, Naktan's the blue one, right?
Zaktan.
Zaktan, yes, I knew that. I'm a Lego fan, guys. Don't worry. I totally know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, Paraka, favorite, probably my favorite Bionicle. Probably easily one of my favorite Bionicle villains as a group. And number 3, great creator. What are your thoughts on that? I'm messing my words over the place.
Okay, so my thoughts are the Paraka are amazing. They're my absolutely favorite Bionicle villain, although not necessarily the best. They are definitely very good. I
agree. It's probably they're not my favorite. That's a video for another day. Actually, top 10 favorite Bionicle villains. I'll take that note.
Okay, so I really like if anyone here has read Legacy of Evil, which is one of the Bionicle books, it is really good and really covers the Paraka story very well, and I really like it, especially how Zaktan got his powers and such.
Yes, I have not read it, but okay.
You definitely need to read it.
I will.
Anyways, I really like the Paraka's characters. I will get more into it later, possibly, though, so I'm not going to delve too deep into it right now.
All right, maybe. Haha, foreshadowing. And by the way, Legacy of Evil is actually what the workers at Sony called the creators of the Emoji Movie. When they were, working on it, they called it the Legacy of Evil.
Nice.
I don't know what you're going to cut out or what you're going to keep in, but anyway, so... Number 2, we have Moro from Ninjago. Now, this is probably an unpopular opinion because I know there's a lot of great Ninjago villains, and it's probably surprising to put Moro at number as my favorite personally. But Moro, to me, had the best motivation out of any of the Ninjago villains. So, basically, yeah, he was the Green Ninja or he was in line to be the Green Ninja, and then he got rejected by who even rejected him?
The
Was it
golden
something?
weapons. Golden weapons.
The Golden Weapons rejected him. I don't really know what. Did they explain why they rejected him? Even I don't even remember. Did
It's the
they?
same thing. They just the same way they rejected Nia. They just didn't respond to him.
Oh, okay. I probably should have researched just a little bit more. But yeah, so yeah, they just didn't respond to. Yes, they just didn't. They didn't. Yeah, Moro. They did not see purity in his. Or cut that part out. So yeah, the Golden Weapons. They did not respond to Moro, and yeah, they just didn't see him as being the Green Ninja. And it's kind of like the whole thing from Kung Fu Panda with the tiger guy and how he ended up not being the Dragon Warrior. Yeah, Moro. Yeah, he was rejected. He was rejected from being the Green Ninja, and he at one point died. There was a way he died like looking for something, I think. And yeah, he died, and then he comes out of the cursed realm and seeking revenge against Blue for rejecting him and the new Green Ninja. You know, he possessed this void, and yeah, he just is out for revenge. And yeah, I just think it's a really good motivation. Being the rejected Green Ninja, I think is just a really good motivation for being a villain. And then a lot of the Ninjago villains, their motivation, like especially for the newest season, the Oni. Spoiler alert, they're just evil people. There's no motivation there. Moro, he has a motivation. He was the rejected Green Ninja, and I can dig that. So yeah, Moro, personally my favorite Ninjago villain and my second favorite original Lego villain. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are Moro is also one of the best Ninjago villains ever. His story arc is amazing, and I will be using him in an interesting way in my series. That's shameless self-promotion there, but
You're gonna plug in you're gonna put like a link to like a playlist with all your videos in it in the description, right? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
If you
Yeah.
guys want to find that, just click my channel.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm giving you more things to edit.
And anyways, Moro's story arc is really well done. How he becomes a hero at the not necessarily a hero, but he gives away the realm crystal and sacrifices himself in a way. And he's a very cool character. His powers are very neat. He's the Ghost Army's cool army, I suppose. And the final battle of that season was really nice, really done. Overall, that season's probably my favorite Ninjago season, mostly because of Moro. So, okay, number 2.
All right, yes, and my number one favorite original Lego villain and the best just original Lego villain, Makuta Pterodax, easily. Now, Makuta Pterodax for me is the best Lego villain because we've seen him and just how he progresses and everything just throughout all of Bionicle. He's been a presence throughout all of Bionicle. He was the villain for the first year. You know, he got defeated. He awoke the Borok hordes. He brought the Rakshi. He got defeated again. The stuff with the flashback happened. He got the rock. He got the rock. Not the rock. He got the Paraka together to free him. He got freed. He took over the spirit robot, and then we've just seen him throughout all that. And yeah, we've just seen so much of him. We've just gotten to know his character so well. We've seen how he's evolved. We've seen how he's gotten setback after setback after setback. We know about how he took over the species of the Makuta, how he became their leader, and how he got all of them in 2008 to help him conquer the Great Spirit Robot, and then how, you know, some of them disagreed, some of them agreed, and just, yeah, he's had so many arcs. We've just seen so much about him. He looks awesome. He has a really cool design. He's menacing. He's just, yeah, overall, easily, in my opinion, the number one best original Lego villain. So, your thoughts, or your minor thoughts, because he may be showing up on your list later. Who knows? Maybe.
I think Makuta Pterodax is an amazing villain, and although he isn't as much of a character as some other villains in Bionicle who I like more, he is an insane villain, like the best antagonist I can think of on this list for either of us.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a good point. He's not really the best as being a character. You know, he is kind of your evil. You're not really generic, but just your evil guy. But yeah,
as mentioned in the CTV video, he's not the best Makuta. That would be, and I agree with that video. They said Krika was a better Makuta than Makuta.
Yes,
Pterodax.
I agree. Actually, that was actually pretty. Yeah, I agreed with that. Awesome.
But Makuta Pterodax is an amazing villain throughout the story. He goes through so many different plans and schemes. In himself, he is not a character, but he is a looming force, sort of.
Yes, I get you there. So yeah. That's my number one, and we will. And by the way, speaking of Makuta, he may be appearing as one of the main villains in our Regions Chronicles, and I would have you link that, but you know I haven't started it yet. So Anyway, yeah. So that was my number one, and yeah, on to great creators list. I almost, but we are not there yet.
Okay, so hold on. I just need to get something real quick. Okay, I'm ready. I'm
Sorry,
gonna edit that out.
Sorry, I kept like making more things for you. That
Don't worry. The first time
you know what you should do? Upload a version that's like uncut and like unedited.
that would be fun. Yeah, we should do that.
Oh, you should upload that to Regions. Upload that to Regions Resistance. Do like top 5 unedited.
Longer, better, and uncut.
Longer, better, and uncut.
Although you
Like,
probably want to
no, no, make the thumbnail like Photoshop the South Park movie and then just Photoshop like a racist.
Yes.
That'd be amazing. All right, so on to your list. All right.
Okay, so on to my list. Okay, number 5, I have a character similar to Tyrannical's number 5, Vladek, who is an ancestor to Ogel. Or Ogel, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Vladek is a character in the Knights Kingdom.
Reverse Lego, it's Ogle. Come on, great creator.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You're disgrace.
Vladek is a character in the Knights Kingdom line. He is a really cool villain because he took down the King Matthias on his own, and that was a betrayal, so making him a pretty challenging villain, and he made like a championship to see who would become the next king, planning to win himself. However, the Knights took him down and banished him away, and he like forged the mask of I can't remember what it's called. All that I have in my notes is has a super powerful helmet. So he forged that, and then he decided to fight back against the Knights, and he almost beat them, and in the end he failed. Knights Kingdom was sort of short run, but Vladek could easily have been a much better villain, but for 3 years he was done very well, and that's why he's on this list. Number 4.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, my thoughts. Come on. I mean, you made the exact same mistake I made. All right. So, first off, you did notes. Maybe I should have done that. Anyway, yeah. So, Vladek, my opinions on him. So, first off, I want to say that his buildable figure, like form of him, because Knights Kingdom had the buildable figures. And let's be honest, that's all anyone remembers from that theme. Come on, no one cares about the stuff from Knights Kingdom. We just want the buildable figures from that. Come on, be honest, guys. But yeah, his buildable figure has a really cool helmet. So first off, I know we're not judging these characters by their set form, their Lego set form, or judging them pretty much by just how they appeared in like media, like the comics and stuff. But yeah, I just will say he had a really cool design first off, and yeah, he had a pretty cool motivation for everything. I didn't know too much about him, but yeah, he had a pretty cool motivation for everything. That's how he was how he wanted to defeat everyone. How he got an army, and yeah, I also like how he's pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, a little bit more just because I just like the whole kind of the whole Alpha Team aesthetic a little bit more than the Knights kind of aesthetic. And yeah, I'd say they're kind of interchangeable, or not really. They're sort of interchangeable because they're both they're related and everything. But yeah, I prefer Ogle a bit more. But yeah, Vladek is definitely still cool.
Okay, is that all?
Yes.
Okay, on to number 4. My number 4 is actually the same as Tronicle's, Lord Business. Now, I think Lord Business is an amazing villain and character, which actually brings him down on the list, having a redemption arc, because he's less of a villain now. But anyways, he was very good when he was a villain. As I mentioned, I enjoyed several scenes with him, and his contrast to the other characters in the movie, and like him saying, "No one ever told me that I was special. I wasn't some special little cupcake." That like made him sort of like what Emmett could have been if.
No, instead he was a special little muffin. He wasn't a cupcake. He was just a muffin.
Muffin.
Yes.
He's what Emmett could have been if Emmett hadn't become the special in some way.
Insert muffin song ASDF like clip. I don't know. I'm sorry I keep giving you more things to edit. I'm sorry.
I just like hacked majorly. Anyways, I like that parallel very much to Emmett, and the parallels between him and the dad were very well done in the Craggle. Overall, Lord Business and President Business is just a very cool character, and I really enjoyed his story. And that's about all. Tronicle, do you want to give any extra thoughts?
No, I pretty much said all I wanted to about him in my... But yeah, just overall great villain, and he tied into the themes and morals of the movie really well.
So ironically, My number 3 is also the same as Tyrannicals.
Whoa, it's almost like, oh my god, it's almost like one of us did our list first, and then we got like one of us got inspiration from the other. I don't know how that happened.
Wouldn't that be strange?
Yeah,
Okay.
wouldn't that be anyway?
Okay, the Paraka. Okay, so I chose the Paraka for a boatload of reasons. These are my absolute favorite villains of all time. They have individually amazing characters, such as Hakan, Vezok, Vizon if you count him because he's not really in the group, and of course Zaktan. I particularly like how Zaktan led them to betray the Shadowed One, and then ended up getting blasted into a million pieces, giving him a new power basically. In Legacy of Evil, a lot of these are going to come from Legacy of Evil, guys. So prepare. I also enjoyed a lot of the stories of how they attacked during the war with Metru City with
Metro City?
Metru Nui. Metru Nui.
Metro Nui, okay, cut that out.
Okay, and I really liked how they develop as characters, although stay basically evil throughout the course of the story. And them fighting the Anika was really cool because the Anika are very selfless characters, and the Paraka just want to protect themselves, like individually. Like Vezok wants to protect Vezok, Radak wants to protect Radak. They don't really care about the team, and that's why they lost, which is in contrast to the Toanika. Because they weren't selfless. Okay, and that's about it. Would you like to add any extra thoughts for the Paraka?
Yeah, I kind of that was kind of the I didn't. Yeah, now that you brought it up, yeah, I did kind of both. Yeah, it's kind of cool how they were countered. They were kind of countered to the Anika, where they won because they all worked together, friendship, blah blah blah. I mean, the Paraka lost because in the end, they all just wanted to kill each other. And yeah, it's kind of cool how they were just a parallel to each other in that way. And yeah, again, we're not judging them by sets, but the Paraka are just such cool sets, man. I mean, personally, don't own any of them, but yeah, they're just such cool sets. I know we're not judging them by their Lego like physical appearances, but yeah, they're just cool sets as well. But yeah, those are I said the rest of my thoughts in my segment on them. So yeah.
Okay, and also if any of you guys ever get a chance to, like, if you see at a thrift store the Legacy of Evil, it's got Zaktan on the cover. It's a really good Bionicle book, and it's only like 100 pages long, so I definitely recommend you guys read it.
So how much money is Greg Farchi paying you for putting that ad in again?
$862.93.
It's pretty nice, actually.
Okay, on to number 2. Believe it or not.
And maybe you can buy all the parts for Tehran now that you did that.
Shh. Awkward silence. Okay, on to number 2, Lord Garmadon. Yes, this is actually one that's different from Tronicle's list. That's interesting. Overall, Garmadon is an extremely good character, having lots of different moral conflicts and story arcs and redemption arcs throughout Ninjago and the Ninjago movie. The Ninjago movie was one big redemption arc. Ninjago Season 2 was a big redemption arc and like downfall arc. And then also
are you going with just all versions of Garmadon or just the show or movie version?
All versions of Garmadon.
Garmadon in general. All right.
Yeah. And also in the March of the Oni, if you guys haven't seen this, just skip like 30 seconds ahead. He had sort of like a joins the ninja and then he departed at the end sort of style. He's also an extremely good villain, but becoming the Overlord in season 2, as well as in season 1 of Ninjago, he led the skeletons against the Serpentine, making him a very clearly powerful character. And in the pilot season, he was pretty evil, although a bit of a goofy character, although he has clearly some morals, which prevents him from being an extreme villain, which is unlike my number 1 spot. Actually, we can't get to that yet because we have to give Tronicle's thoughts.
Yes, and honorable mentions, because we have to do that for I had a couple honorable mentions, but yeah. So my thought on Garmadon, and actually Garmadon was my honorable mention. So I had 2 honorable mentions. So Garmadon, he was one of my honorable mentions. My thought on him, yeah, he probably the best Ninjago villain, just because kind of like Makuta, we've seen him like the longest in Ninjago, and he's just had the best the most like presence as villain in Ninjago, and also he was the single greatest thing about the Lego Ninjago movie. Hilarious in that movie. But yeah, we've seen him the most. We've seen his character. Yeah, he has a pretty good backstory of getting bit by the Great Devourer and all that. And the whole thing with the Sons of Garmadon wanting to revive him, that was really cool. And yeah, again, he's probably the best. He's not my favorite Ninjago villain because I think Moro, his kind of motivation was a bit cooler. And also, I forgot to mention the whole thing with Moro and Day of the Departed and how he like chose not to fight Wu and instead just went back to being departed. That was pretty cool. But yeah, Garmadon's probably the best Ninjago villain, but Moro is my personal favorite. Yeah. Then my second honorable mention was Antimatter from the updated agents line, Ultra Agents, I think. But yeah, he may seem like kind of a random villain, but I love just all the Ultra Agents villains, and he was the one who just kind of brought them all together. He was the one controlling them, and he also had just a really cool design. He looked really cool. So yeah, we didn't really see him because Ultra Agents didn't have like a show or anything, but yeah, so we didn't really see too much of him. But yeah, him and just pretty much all the other Ultra Agents villains, they all could have probably been on the list. They were all really cool in my opinion. And yeah, those were my thoughts on Garmadon and my honorable mention. So yeah, on to your number one, which I wonder who it could be.
So, as I said, Garmadon has morals, which makes him a better character. However, my number one on this list has no morals, making him a better villain. Number one, Makuta Pterodax. Jeez, who could have thought?
Okay. Who could have thought, you know.
Makuta Pterodax is such a conniving villain and ruthless character, ordering Miserix to be killed and possibly the most ruthless Makuta with the obvious exception of Gorast, who's murderous in every way and has no sense of self-preservation.
Well, Gorast is insane. I don't know if that really counts as evil.
She's not a good villain. She's just a psychopath.
It's just a psychopath. All right.
Self-destructive psychopath. So she does not get an honorable mention, although she's an extremely cool character. Makuta Pterodax has like such an amazing plan, and that unfolds so perfectly throughout the Bionicle storyline. It seems like it's failed, but in reality, he's just making one more step. And the final battle was really very cool with Madanui defeating him once and for all. And overall, he's just a very cool character. Also, his story of how he became evil is rather cool, getting inspired by the Baraki. So overall, he's a very interesting character and a very, very good villain. Okay.
And you already know my thoughts on him, so that will wrap things up here.
That's all for today's list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this is Great Creator, over and out.
Yeah, and this is Tyrannical signing off. And by the way, I finally got Foot Commander's lines. So Bionicle Plague Episode 4 will be out soon. All right, you can end the episode.
I'm not removing that self-promotion because I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, all righty. Goodbye.